Today I'm going to be going over my second assignment in my programming course. Now, this assignment, what I'm supposed to do is make an application here for them to choose a flight for first class or economy, for user types 2, for application seats economy, window seats, blah blah blah, two-dimensional array with boolean for plane, 40 array, blah post, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so, and all this is, if you don't know, that's all it is. It's just hidden. All the code is still there. It's that many lines here. It's just hidden. And all you have to do is plus. Now I will just go through this main method right here, and then I'll go individually through the functions and sub-procedures. Here's this scanner, there's normal. Now here's the boolean for the flight, and a boolean for the main loop, which I'm going to put everything in. And then just a quick welcome message, blah blah. Okay, what it does is, as a value here, boolean plane full equals a method to see if the plane is full, of course, and a boolean loop. A string first class, an integer first class for that. So when I convert this into an integer, this is where it's stored, and then I will use the same thing for this string for that. It's just after. Alright, now while the plane is not full, because if it's full, then you want to tell them plane's full, flights in the next 3 hours. If it's not full, it's going to do this, or it's going to do everything in the if statement. Okay, so first I put a do loop just from here to here, and what this do loop checks, ask this question: please type 1 first class, 2 economy, and 0 to exit. Now what it does first is, I already showed you in the other tutorials the is number method. Sees if it's a number, and a boolean class free. So it does the number check right there, and if it is a number, then it will parse the integer to in class float, which I have up there. And if that is between 0 and 2, because I only have 1, 2, and 0, and if they in class flight is 1, so they're with first class, class free equals, so that's the boolean right there, equals first class free. So checks if first class free, and if it is free, the loop will end, and the in-flight class is now the number. So if it isn't free, it will tell them first class is free, please select another section. It'll do the entire loop again. It won't do any of that, this right here, and it'll just do the entire loop again. And the same here for if it's number 2, does the exact same thing, except it checks if economy is free. And after that, so you have that part done. Its works is all free of errors, which I will show you all of that later in the methods. Now while class is not equal to 0, because if it's 0, you just want it to exit. Pretty much same thing here, 0, 1, 2, 3, idle, window, seat. Same thing, checks if it's a number, parses the integer. Same thing between 2 and 0. And then pretty much the same thing here. If they choose 1, boolean check, it is idle free. Here's my method right there. And if it checks, it will go false, because it works, because it is free. And if it's not, it would print out that, and it would run the entire loop again. And same for this one. Boolean check is window free, Well, actually, not six. That's aisle, that's window. Checks it. If it does do it, the loop will end. If it doesn't, the loop won't end. Else, which would pretty much be 0, because anything else would be that, because you already checked if it was between 0 and 2. So it pretty much mean that the program is going to end. And then blah, this is just an else statement if they didn't enter valid numbers. And there you go. Again, if in C choice, which is this right there, where it parses it, it's what they chose for 0. So you make sure that's not 0, because if it is, again, you don't want it to run this. You just want it to close, add to flight. Here's just the method I had to add to flight. It takes in the array, which is seats, and 2 integers, which is what I got from the first do loop, where it asks for class, and this is for the seat. And then display flight, we just display the flight. And then just a little last thing here is gonna run the do loop to ask if they want to add another person. All it is they put yes, then it'll loop the entire thing again. If they put no, it won't. And if they don't put any of those, it will say you didn't enter yes or no, and it would re-loop just that. And here's at the end. This was if plane's full, come back 3 hours. Main loop was false again. Main loop was false, come back 3 hours. One more, main loop false, come back 3 hours. And that's the end of the main loop. Now let's see this one. Alright, welcome to the airline. The following seats are left in the flight. So everything's free. Here's the 4x4, four rows, 4 columns. First class seats are up here. Economy are here. So please enter the number of your seats. Let's put in 1. Please enter the number of choice you want. Let's go with a window seat. Your seat are now in row 1, seat number 2. Row 1, seat number 1. Press OK to see the remaining flights. Now it again prints out what's free, and see now row 1, column 1 is full. And row 1, column 1 is now booked. Now in the actual array, that's row 0, column 0, but they don't add zeros in the life. So do you want to add another person? Let's just put this. And I'm just gonna put 0. And play in full, come back 3 hours. That's it. I'm gonna have to run this. And let's hit 1 and then 0. And full, come back 3 hours. And there we go. Now let's actually do something here. One more. Actually, I don't want to run this for a while. When everything's booked up here, if first class is completely booked, I'm not gonna prove it because it would take too long to fill up this entire thing. When first class is booked and I hit 1 and hit enter, it will come with a message that says first class is booked, and it will rerun these things and print them back out to you and tell you to pick something else. So either 2 or 0. But it will still have the 1 here, so if you hit 1 again, and it will do the same thing for number 2 for econ. And then let's see it had booked an aisle seat in first class. Let's put economy, let's get aisle seat, and I got an aisle seat in second class. And that's pretty much the entire thing. Oh, my bad. And there's that. So now let's go through some of these methods. Let's go through display flight, which is kind of long, kind of not. First thing is put a count there, some mail prints, just have a space, And first, because the first class is first, it's the first 8 units in the array. So we've seen this before. And here's for rows, here's for columns. I have something else here. So if row is bigger than 1 and count equals 0, which it does initially, then it would system print out economy. So for the first two rows, it won't do anything, and then when it gets to the third row, it will print out economy, and that's how you've seen the way the array is. Now it'll count plus plus, so it'll count once, so it'll only do that once. And then in here, if row is row is smaller than 2, which means it's first class. And bigger than 2, that's second class. And if a array column is free, then I'll do that. Or sorry, if array, column, and row are true, so it is booked, it'll print out booked. And if it's false, again, it'll print out, if it's false, it'll print out free. I'll do that for that, la la la. And that's pretty much it for displaying the flight. Actually, I'll leave that open. Leave one that didn't go through. Now, first class free, just very simple, goes through the entire thing. Now because first class is less than 2, it's the array 0, 1, and if that equals false, it'll return true. And if it's free, it'll return true. If it's false, not free, it'll return false. Again, economy free, pretty much the same thing, except if row is bigger than 1. Probably not good at explaining this stuff, but trying my best now is idle free. So now see how it takes in an integer number and an array. So it starts with a count, and then does the first just loops through the rows, loops through all the rows. Then if number equals 1, row is smaller than 2. So again, if this equals 1, it's first class, because that's where it takes it in. And so that means that would have to be that. So number equals 1, then the row has to be less than that. And if this equals true, it'll put the count. So it pretty much does the exact same thing up here, except it only checks for the aisle seats. If the aisle seats are free, or if they're not free, if they're booked, it'll count the plus. Well, it'll count it. And if count right here, at the very end, it checks if it's full, and if it is, if it's free, it'll return true. If it's not free, it'll return false. Again, same thing for here. Exact same thing, except these numbers change. So that's how it goes through the rows. And static plane full. That checks if the entire plane is full. Boolean first class, which is here. And then it does first class array. Instead of writing the entire code out, because I already have the array for first class and the array for second class, I can just call those two methods and do that and have it to equal these. And if first class isn't free, second class isn't free, it returns true because plain full is true. And if it doesn't, it returns false. Then we already went through the is number through many of the tutorials I had before. And here's add to flight. This one is a little bit longer. Just go through this again. First initial loop through the rows. And int show row is row plus 1. I have this because row in the array is 1 less than the actual number. So in the first row is 0. The second row is 1. But normally people think of the first row as 1, so you have to add that to 1 to show them that it's the first row, not the 0 row, because people wouldn't understand. Alright, now if class choice is equal to 1, so again it takes in the two numbers, so class choice 1, so the first class, and seats is the seat choice, which goes through row 1. And the thing is, you don't have to put any checks on this. Like, you don't have to check if it's free or nothing. Because if you get to this point, it's free. You either quit, because before you either quit, or you pick another option that is free. And then, so if they chose, let's just say, they chose first class, which row would have to equal that, and then their seats, if they chose 1, which was aisle, I think. Yep, aisle. And if row should be looping to that, 1 is equal to false, it's set to true, and it shows you just a quick dialog box to show you that. And then it breaks. And it does that for all. And that's pretty much it. And I think this ran a little bit too long. So, thanks for watching.